In this Sean Speaks episode, I get to speak to you from my heart about an important part of parenting, family life, and a parent's mental health and mindset. I want to help you thrive in how you speak to your kids and how you speak to yourself. Sean Speaks is a live teaching I did with a Zoom room filled with my VIP members. It's interactive, it's spontaneous, it's raw and unedited. If you'd like to go deeper with me, visit my website. Don't you just hate that when your kids are acting out and they don't really seem to care about anyone's feelings? They're treating you bad. They have a bad attitude. They're mean to their sibling. They're disrespectful to you. And then, they don't even care. They just move on. They don't say, I'm sorry. They don't apologize. That sucks. Also sucks is that when you're trying to connect with them and tell them what's up and talk to them, then they don't even really seem to care. They don't even apologize then. So then some of us, what do? Well, then we say, you need to say you're sorry. You need to say you're sorry. What we do in a lot of these situations is that most parents, when it comes to repair attempts or making amends, most parents in my 24 years of working with you and your sons and daughters, we do one of two stupid things. Very stupid. One is that we force apologies. You probably do it. You're guilty. I used to do it too. I didn't know any better. And then I learned from all these super genius, smart women, all these psychologists about positive parenting, about, hey, forcing apologies doesn't work. It's not good. I was like, what the heck? What are you? I can't make my kids apologize. What can I say? You got to tell me I can never say anything nowadays. But then I realized that either A, we either force apologies, or B, we just let it go. Oh gosh, we've all been there. Little Johnny, little Sarah, little Shauna, little Dawson, little Jerome, little guy treating everybody like crap. And then it's like, okay, get in the car. We got to go to soccer. Okay, no, come on. We got to get you to your ballet. Well, no, let's go. No, you got to get your friend. You're going to be late to your friends. Come on, we got to go to school. We got to get to school. Oh, no, don't say anything. Why, honey? Oh, it'll just make things worse. Well, we need to address this. You know what? It's just kids. Just let it go. Oh my gosh. Trust me. I don't need to ask who's been there. We've all been there. So what I have found is that here's two things that I have found in my experience is that there's like three tools that are so essential in parenting. And I see these three tools and I just want to give them to you. I want to give them to every parent in the world to change the world. And the tools that I nerd out on, are these heart talk speaking skills. And if you're here with me live, my membership, turn to page 25 to Sean's top 10 parenting tools and look at tool number 4. Today, I'm going to give you some tools for making amends because most kids, they suck at making amends. They suck at it. Your kids probably suck at it. And why do they suck at it? Well, they suck at it because of you and because of me, because we didn't learn these tools of making amends in our childhood. We were raised by parents who either forced us to apologize. Okay, it's me. Okay, that's my sister's Megan. Okay, sorry, Megan. Sorry. Does that make me be a better brother to my little sister? No, it just actually made me salty. And my sister Megan's smart enough to know whether she's 4 or 14. No, I'm like, my brother's a jerk. His heart's not in this. Or we just go ahead and we don't do anything about it. So what I've learned is that many adults have a very tiny toolbox when it comes to the art of making amends or reconciliation. Because parents are teachers and every home is a school, we can only teach what we know. We don't know what we don't know. So what I have found is that when you increase this part of your vibe in your parenting, teaching your kids how to make amends and teaching them there's more things you can say than when you want to make amends, make things right, than these two stupid words. You know what the words are. They're so dumb. They're so dumb. They're so dumb. I'm sorry is so dumb. It's so overrated. It's so overused. So you know what? In my house and in your house, I want to invite you to take I'm sorry and to maybe just move it to the bottom of the list and take some of these new ideas and move it to the top. And if you're here with me live, I'm gonna share these with you, and I would love to talk with you live about which ones are your favorite, and maybe even asking you some personal questions like, hey, when you were growing up, did your parents teach you the arts of making amends? About repair attempts? What was that like? Did you get a good education? And now, if you did or didn't, how has that affected you as an adult? Do you suck at making amends? Is it hard for you to say you're sorry? Is it hard for you to actually humble yourself to your spouse, co-parent, your lover, or your kids? Because you can't teach what you don't practice. So let me share some things with you. Okay, so here's my thoughts on this, is that I'm going to go through these super fast, probably too fast for many of you. But one of my favorite things of making amends is that when your kid says, "Hey, I'm sorry," you could here's an alternative. You can say, "Hey, thank you for saying that, but you know what I'd love to talk to you about is trust." What do you mean, Mom? You know, it would. I thank you for saying that, but can we talk about like how this has impacted trust and how I want us to have a trusting relationship? Okay, what do you mean, Mom? What are you talking about? Like, you know, if you could just look me in the eye and say, you know, Mom, I'm going to do a better job of cleaning cleaning the dirty dishes. If you could say that to me and like look me in the eye and say that, that would really mean a lot to me. Okay, so I have to say that? No, you don't have to say it. I'm saying, if you were to look me in the eye, son, what do you mean, Dad? You know what? I mean, I just feel like I'm asking you to clean the dog poop a lot. So I'm just saying, if you could look me in the eye and say, Dad, you can trust me. I'm going to do a great job on cleaning the dog poop. Then you know what? It's like, we're good. That would mean so much to me. And so whatever your issue is, instead of having them say, I'm sorry, or just like moving on like you normally do, talk about using the psychology of trust to build trust and help them see that every relationship is built on trust. Every good relationship has trust and every bad relationship doesn't have trust. So if you find yourself like arguing with your kids a lot or micromanaging or command and control, look deeper, go down in your submarine and realize that your issue is probably not really your issue. What your issue is trust. And so here's another way of, here's another alternative. Instead, when your kid says, I'm sorry, you could say this, hey, we talked about this on the last VIP call with this awesome family that is here with us right now live. You say, hey, I appreciate you saying I'm sorry, but instead of saying that, I have an idea of what we could do. Okay, what do you mean? Hey, can we just kind of role play out and talk about what are we going to do as a family? Like the next time we get in that spot, what do you mean? Like, when you lose your temper, or you're about to get really angry, what can we do together? What can I do? What can I say? What can I not do? What can I say? Can we practice? No, I don't want to practice. Okay, well then, what can we do then? I just said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Isn't that enough? Well, no, son, my sorry is nice, but it's not like this, like magic wand. It's not like this magic wand you can just say, and then make everything better. What else do you want me to do? I said I was sorry. See, does this sound familiar, right? Sounds familiar because what the young person is saying is, I don't have any tools here, guys. I don't have any tools. And if your kids are saying that, there's only one person to look at to blame. And that would be you because you're the teacher. And I'm not trying to get weird, like blame you. No, mom guilt, dad guilt. Don't be stupid here. I'm just talking about, hey, okay, this is a time for us to teach. And if you have a volatile, explosive child, well, this is actually been proven, even in the book, The Explosive Child, which was written in the freaking 80s or whatever. It's an okay book. I wouldn't recommend it. But they even say, look, when the child is calm, you make a plan. Here's another idea for you. Okay, this is one of my favorites, okay, is, if you heard me ever talk about this, I always say the same thing whenever I talk about this. This sounds pretty weird, what I'm about to say. I think it's weird, and I teach it all the time. Is you can say to your kids, hey, can you, would you mind saying some things to help me feel better? Or you could say something like this. Hey, thank you for talking to me about this, but I would love to, would you be open to saying some things to comfort me? Super weird, right? I think it's super weird. Why is that weird? So many reasons. One, you think our parents would talk to us that way? Do you think my dad, old man Brian Donahue, would ever talk to me that way? Heck no, that's freaking weird, right? Do you think my grandpa was in World War II and World War II? And the other one, I don't even know. You think they talk to their kids that way? No, but it's actually very normal because in our friendships and our romantic relationships, we actually want comfort. In fact, some of you, your home is a big mess and it's a sucky place. And if you think about it, if you just had more comfort in your home and more gentleness, just those two words, can you imagine how it would totally revolutionize your home? Just those two simple words, more comfort and more gentle. So I'm like a grown man. I don't need my kids to comfort me. I'm not pushing my feelings on my kids. I'm not sitting here well, I don't need my, teenage daughters to oh, dad, are you okay? No, but it's about the practice of comforting somebody, inviting them into my humanity. Because if we can teach a 17-year-old teenager or a 5-year-old teenager the power of comfort, Do you know what that's going to mean for their life? And I think what you'll notice, I've mentioned this, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, is that when you invite like a 3-year-old or a 6-year-old to actually comfort you, most will actually do it very well. You might have to emotion coach them by like putting their hand on your arm. Some will even do it naturally. I know some of you are nodding your heads because you have these cuddle bugs and they're really good at comforting you. And then you can say to them, thank you, that's comforting. I love it when you comfort people, because what we're doing here is we're like raising like these amazing like adults right now. We're teaching them the power of comforting somebody. And are you hearing this? Like, we're teaching them how powerful they are. How powerful they are. They have the ability to ruin a family vacation. They have the ability to hurt someone's feelings, but they have the ability at age 5, at age 10, to make amends, to bring healing. That's freaking nuts, right? That's crazy. That's so powerful. Here's another things. Hey, you can ask them, you can ask your child, hey, how can we make amends here? What do you mean? Make amends. What does that mean? It means like, when you make a mistake or hurt someone's feelings, it's about like, making it right, making amends. Oh, I don't know. I said I was sorry. What do you want me to do? And see, this is where we want to be as parents. We're like the emotion coaches of coaching them through this. Here's another good thing. Hey, can we just do a do-over? Let's just do a do-over. Here's another idea for you. Again, this is the opposite of forcing apologies. When I started using this with my kids, like, what was it, like over a decade ago, I was like, holy moly, that kind of is like a freaking magic potion. Because one of my main buttons, it doesn't really happen anymore, but it happens sometimes when one of my older siblings is picking on a younger sibling. Dude, let's go. Freaking crazy man comes out of me. It's like, I just want to go nuts. Like, I hate it. It's just like, it get violent. It's like, what is happening? Don't be touching my babies, right? But instead of me jumping in like some referee and then exhausting everybody and not helping anybody, what I do is you want to step in as their emotion coach. And here's like an amazing line you can say. Instead of you need to go say you're sorry to your brother, you need to say sorry right now. You could then say, hey, can you go help your sibling feel better? And then in the beginning, they'll be like, what are you, a second, are you speaking English right now? What are you saying, crazy lady? So then you're inviting the one sibling to go comfort another sibling. And is this 6th grade boy going to be good at comforting their sibling in the first 3 to 4 attempts? Come on now. That's an easy quiz to get an A on. But who is going to coach them in the arts of comforting? You can even say something like this. Hey, I can go with you if that helps. Well, I don't know what to say. Do I have to? Well, no, you don't have to. But what are you going to do? To make things right. That's another thing you might want to write down. If you are with me live, then I'll even put a link right now to in the group chat of something that really goes deeper. And because you're a VIP member, I'm here to talk with you through this, or you can watch this at any time with me. Here's another idea for you. Okay. If you need help, if you need help with this, then let me know. I'm here. Let me know how I can help you. So see, what you're doing now is you're not forcing the amends, but you're coming alongside them to help. And sometimes they will want you to be there. Yeah, can you come with me? Because they're scared. They don't know what to say. And in that situation, especially if you got kids 10 and under, you don't want to talk too much, because then what your child is going to do is they're going to go into their coping mechanisms, which they're going to put their arms around, they're going to cuddle up against you, or they're going to stonewall. And that's a time for you to just be patient with this process, because the best teachers in our schools are patient with their challenging students. Okay, here's another idea for you is prayer. Some of you have a prayer life or a spiritual home. You say, hey, can we pray together? Or can I pray for you? Or can we pray about how we can work together to make amends? Very lovely thing. I didn't invent prayer. This isn't like anything. I didn't invent any of this stuff. I'm just a mouthpiece that I've learned from these smart people. I'm just here to tell you, here's another idea. This one's very, 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 very important. I've used this, and I'm currently still using this with one of my youngest daughter. So, okay, if you're thinking of it this way, your child says, okay, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, what you did was really hard. I mean, you hit and you cussed. I know. I said, I'm sorry. What else can I do? And you can say this. Well, this is probably one of my top 3 of all time. I am in love with this, and I'll tell you why in a second. Would you mind saying to me, hey, how can I help you feel better? What do you mean, Dad? I'm just saying, would you be open to saying that? How can I help you feel better? Okay, I'll say it. How can I, because you be, excuse me, what? Yeah, that's like, so that's what they would do. You know, it's freaking kids. So no, you say, no, you, I'm just asking you, would you be open to saying that to me? Okay. How can I help you feel better? Okay. I said it. Okay. Are we done now? Are we done? See, it's so freaking kids. No, it's about, no, like I'm saying, like when things happen, you hurt people's feelings. I hurt your feelings all the time. And one of the things we do in this family is we help each other feel better. So I'm just asking you, can you say it? I just said it though. I said it. Can we be done? And then if you move on, what message are you sending? No, you stay in the moment and you say, no, like, can you say that? And just, how can I help you feel better? Okay. How can I help you feel better? And then at this point, now essentially, I hope this doesn't come off weird. You have like this child in the palm of your hands right now, this student. And now at that point, you have about 1,000 opportunities on how to respond. One response is you could say, well, thank you for saying that. Thank you. Because if you get your child to say that, first of all, that's like a major win. Like, holy smokes. Like, let me give you an apple on your table. That's like teacher of the year right there. If you can get your kid to say that, you vibing with me, guys? It's so highly intelligent. It's so amazing. And then you need to be ready to answer them. One appropriate answer is, I don't know. Thank you for saying that. But do you have any ideas? Super appropriate. Some kids have a hard time coming up with ideas. And sometimes it's best to even just sit in that tension. Well, you know what? You're 12 and I want you to come up with some ideas. What are you going to do to make things right? Totally appropriate. What's also appropriate and sometimes more helpful is that you would come up and you think of your own love languages. Instead of asking your kid to be freaking psychic, because they're not, you can then say something like, hey, you know what? It would mean a lot for me if maybe you can help me make dinner tonight. And then maybe help me with the dishes afterwards. I don't want to do that. It's like you just ask them to go to the moon or whatever. Which, fun fact, shown on the radio, we have like this astronaut up in space and something broke, like an air filtration system. So we can't bring him back home, but this dude's going to break the world record for most time out in space. Hey, good job for you. You're challenging it. And now we're trying to get my freaking, kid to put some forks on the table to set the dining room table. Like we asked him the same thing. No, kid, this is not a big deal, putting a couple forks on the table. So back to what we're saying. So no, you don't have to do that. I'm saying that would help me to kind of feel better and to make amends. And well, I don't want to do that. I don't help you dinner. Okay, well then what would you like to do? I don't know. Okay, well then I want you to think about it. How are you going to make amends? Okay, can I just say I'm sorry? Can I just say I'm sorry? That's exactly what would happen, right? Well, yes, you can, but when things happen, sometimes you have to put effort into showing us, into making things better. And so if you don't want to help me with dinner, let's come up with some ideas. Like, hey, the baseboards in the living room, they need cleaning. Would you open to doing that? Okay, fine. Yes. And then we'll be good. Yes. Take a little magic eraser, clean the baseboards, and then we'll be good. Thank you. All right. See how much there's so much more than I'm sorry. Here's another idea. This one's super good. This is also something I've done with my kids and still currently doing. Let's say you have a child who has angry, explosive outbursts. So then they just want to minimize you. They want to dehumanize you. They don't want to deal with the hard work of making amends. This is what we talked about 2 nights ago in the VIP with that one lovely family who's here. And so one action step would be, hey, I got this anger book off Amazon, and I was hoping we could read a chapter together. It'd be age appropriate, right? And talk about it. No, I don't want to. I don't want to. Well, we want you to do it as a way of like making amends. Well, no, I'm not going to. You're not going to make me. I'm not reading an anger book. Okay, you can read it on your own, or I can read it with you. No, I don't want to. Okay, well then what are you going to do to make amends? Nothing. And then if that's the situation, that's for a different teaching. Then you would move into the tool called emotional consequences, which we've done a lot of teaching on here. And here's the last couple ideas, okay? You can say, hey, can you write me a letter? That would mean a lot to me. Now, if you are listening to this, you might be thinking about your own love languages. So for me, one of my 5 love languages is words of affirmation. I'm into words. And I have one daughter who's like incredibly talented with the pen. So she writes me these beautiful things throughout the year. And it's just like, it melts me. It's like, it's like heaven on earth. So if your child likes writing or you like receiving writing, that could be a great idea. Now you think about your love languages, because if your love language is quality time and you got a teenager who's out of the house a lot, you could say this, hey, you know what mean a lot to me is, the Cherry Festival is coming up this weekend, and I would just love it if you came with us. Oh, the Cherry Festival, Dad. Oh, nerd alert. I hate that thing. I know you do. I know, but hey, I love going to it, and it would mean a lot to me to have you come. We can take a picture together. Oh, please, no, send me to the moon. Hey, I'm just saying this is what would make it men's to me. I love spending time with my kids at the dang Cherry Festival and taking a photo. Fine, I'm going, but no photo. No photo. I'm not taking a photo. Okay, well, no deal then. Because if I'm going to the Cherry Festival, I want a photo. Okay, fine. But I'm not going to have a good attitude about it. Okay, well, no deal then. I don't want to have no freaking salty teenager ruining my Cherry Festival vibes. Dude, cherry pie, lime cherry soda. No. Okay, I'm sorry. Can we just move on? No, I don't want to move on. See, because if you move on and accept that they're coming to the Cherry Festival and they're going to be all lame, you just made a bad deal. That's not making of amends. You with me? And then here's the last thing. I talk about this a few times a year. A very underrated book is by Dr. Jerry Chapman, the guy who wrote The 5 Love Languages. He wrote an even more powerful book, I think. It's called The 5 Love Languages of an Apology. And in this, he says that there's 5 ways that actually we as humans, we receive apologies. We receive tenderness and care. Isn't that just a great word, tenderness? Totally underrated. That's another thing. Think about that. Chicken tenders are great. Everyone loves them, right? I mean, you got to have a good tender. But if you had more tenderness in your home and your parenting, realize that would probably change your world. How do we teach your kids to be more tender with each other? So the 5 love languages of an apology, even though I can't say the word, are expressing regret, which is like, hey, I'm sorry, or I apologize. Some people are really into that. As you can tell, I am not. Number 2, accepting responsibility, which is like, hey, I was wrong. I think my wife really likes that one. Here's the thing. You never know the person you're apologizing what their love language is of an apology. So if I'm like apologizing to like a buddy or a cousin or like somebody I don't really know, I'll just use all 5 because I'm just trying to really reach this person's heart. Number 3 would be making restitution. Hey, what can I do to make things right? As you can probably tell from my tone, that's like my love language. Like, I like it when people say things like, hey, what can I do to make things right? Like, how can we talk about this? You want to talk about this some more? Just like not rushing me off or blowing me off with some like, I'm sorry, or they defend themselves. I'm sorry, but you made me mad. I'm sorry, Sean, but this is how you are sometimes. It's like, can I just have a couple like words of like making restitution? Number 4 is called genuinely repenting. Of course, I can't say the word, but you get the gist. Genuinely repenting, which kind of comes off like, hey, I'll try not to do that again. I'll try not to do that again. Or, you know what? You can trust me. I'm really going to work on this. Or, you know what? I want you to know I plan on never doing that again. I think my wife really likes that one too. And number 5 is straight up the old requesting forgiveness, which sounds like, hey, will you please forgive me? Now, why do I say these things? Because these are all tools in your toolbox now, because you like some of those more than others. So here's something you could say to your kids. Hey, you know what? I've learned that, I get my feelings hurt just like everybody's son. And I think one way to make things right with me is if you were just say, I'll try not to do that again. I love it when people say that to me. Would you be open to saying that? Yeah. Okay. I'll try not to do that again. No. Like, can you look me in the eye and just really say it? It would really help me to feel better, to help like heal what's happened, and we can move on and I'll feel better. And then they say it, and then you hug them and you move on, and you just taught this child something incredible that they're never going to learn in school. Isn't that fabulous? Isn't this like super deep? And so in conclusion, I will leave you with this that are here with me live. I will leave you with a link if you'd like to go deeper. I will put it in the group chat. In conclusion, where is all this coming from? As we wrap up Thursday's teaching, here is the link, is that essentially what these people that I mention all the time, Dr. John Gottman and his team, have come up with these things called repair attempts. And repair attempts are similar to making amends, but they're not the same things. A repair attempt is any statement or action, verbal or physical, meant to diffuse negativity and help a conflict from escalating out of control. So when you think about repair attempts or making amends, we want to use them before things get crazy wild, before we're doing our reactions, to kind of diffuse each other. As you can see in what I just texted you, if you're here live, there's like 100 different options of way of using a repair attempts from little things. And you want to think about, what do those really work for you? You want to try to incorporate those things into your parenting, into your serious relationships. Gottman calls repair attempts a secret weapon. And so what is making amends? Making amends is that when your repair attempts don't work, or things have already gone downhill, instead of doing punishments, instead of scolding, instead of doing your reactions, instead of your child forcing them to say, I'm sorry, or accepting this weak sauce, I'm sorry, Mom, and then moving on, now you have a whole toolbox of ideas. Parents, thank you for letting me be a positive voice in your life. I love you and I love your family. If you're sick and tired of those same painful patterns in your parenting, or the same painful bad behaviors in your kids, then what are you waiting for? Join me in my VIP membership. I'd love to speak with you and give you the specific tools that you need.